very warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to see such a wonderful gathering here tonight for a very special event. A book launch is more than just a very formal event. It is actually the culmination of years of dedication, late-night edits, and a shared vision of a team. Today, we will start this event by invoking the blessings of supreme power with a very small prayer invocation by a little child named Prahalad Vardhan. Please come, Prahalad. Mango.
ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் தேசிகர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். உயர்வர உயர் நலம் உடையவன் எவனவன் மயர்வர மதிநலம் அருளின் அஞ்ஞவனவன் அயர்வரும் அமரர்கள் அதிபதியவனவன் துயரறு சுடரடி தொழுதழன் மன்னனே.
Thank you, Prahalad. That was really nice. With the supreme blessings invoked, I would like to invite our esteemed guests and the core team behind this book to join us on stage. First, I would like to call upon our respected guests for the evening. Their presence today add immense grace and value to this occasion. May I please request Shri John Thomas, retired GM, Southern Railways, to kindly step on the dais. Joining him, I would like to invite Shri Bhaskar Ben Thatha, President TechEssence Software Solutions Private Limited, on stage. We are truly honored to have both of you with us tonight. Now, I would like to invite the creative minds on stage. Please welcome Shri T. Jaganathan, author of Select and Delete. Alongside him, please welcome co-author who helped bring this vision to life, Srimati V.G. Bhuma, with a round of applause. Finally, every great manuscript needs a push to bring it to the world. To complete our panel for the evening, I call on stage the publisher, Anuj Jaganathan, founder of Propellers, on the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have another warm round of applause for our guests on the dais before we officially commence this evening of celebration? Introduce Shri John Thomas and to honor our guest with a very small token of honor.
Namaskaram, good evening, vanakkam. When we discussed who should be the guest of honor for this event, there was one question. Who is a person who is a role model to many people? Who is a person who is unconditionally very high on humility and very low on hubris? And a person who is a giver and a person who makes everyone feel so comfortable that we will all tend to become the better selves of ourselves just by his mere presence. And we hit upon one name, Mr. John Thomas. Mr. John Thomas was not just my boss, he was to me a model. He was, I shouldn't say it because there will be a lot of other people who will say, was I not that? Because I would say he was one of the best bosses anyone could ever get. And I would probably say that I hope I could get another chance to work under Mr. John Thomas. That way, he was not a conventional engineer of railways. He, of course, did his engineering. He completed in 1981 from Punjab University. And first attempt, he joined railways from 1982, and he has done wonderful contribution to the organization as DRM, as SDGM, as CVO, as AGM, and as GM of both Southern Railway and ICF. But that is not why he is here, because when I asked him, sir, why didn't you come and be the guest of honor? He said, I am not a sitting GM, I am not a big shot. I just told that, but you are, for all of us, a big shot. Thank you very much, sir, for consenting to be our guest of honor. And thank you very much. And he normally doesn't read many fiction work. Right, sir? Yeah. But this book, he read it. This is his nature. He said, if I have to do the releasing of the book, I have to read it. And he read it from cover to cover, and Madam is witness for it. So if he read it cover to cover and said this is a good book, I take it as equivalent to Booker Award. Thank you very much, sir, and welcome, and thank you all. I also give special thanks to all of them, because I know how much effort Jagan put behind writing this book, and but for all of you, it would not have seen the light of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhumaka, for this lovely introduction for our esteemed guest. I now request Sri Jaganathan to introduce and honor our guest, Sri Bhaskar Ben Thatha, with a small token of appreciation.
So incidentally, we split between the two of us, so 50-50%. So one of the chief guests is introduced by Puma, and the other chief guest I will introduce because it's my good contact. And the second incidental thing is, I think it is like repeat. So whatever she said, more or less fits for the second introduction also, except that he wasn't from government and railway service. Otherwise, in terms of humility, hubris, everything fits. You can do ditto. Okay, so you can repeat once again. So I don't want to repeat. So Ben is my client. I did not get any introduction profile from him, because I thought, what is the point in reading big profile? The most important, as Bhuma said, is my client, but still very good friend. So we never relate as a client and a service provider. He's a very good friend. So I also always think of what is that we can give, and he also thinks what he can give, contribute. That's why I thought, again, the second chief guest for the day, it has to be Ben. Otherwise, we thought about different options. So I said, this relationship is not a client service provider relationship. So Ben is the CEO of TechEssence Software. So I will leave with that introduction. But more important than that is a very, very humble person. So, but very humble, but in terms of his achievements, he has worked in US, and then he started this TechEssence, and then it is now 200 people company into BPO and IT software. So with that, I will stop the introduction. Thank you, John Thomas sir. Thank you, Ben, for agreeing to come and honor us. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction. Finally, the moment we have all been awaiting for with much anticipation by our guest, Sri Thomas, sir, and Ben Thatha will receive the first copy. Can I have them on stage, please? Thank you so much for that. I would now like to request Sri John Thomas sir to come and say a few words and give us his views today. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you. When I was asked to come and release this book, I felt I was the least qualified person for this purpose, because neither am I a literary figure, nor am I an IT expert. But in spite of this, me getting a chance to release this book has been a very great honor, for which I would like to thank both Jagan and Bhuma. I would also like to thank Jagan for having sent me a soft copy of the book, which I could read. In the prologue to the book, Jagan has said that he has been inspired by the writer Arthur Hailey and his books, Those of you who have read Arthur Hailey's books would agree with me that Arthur Hailey, when he started writing any book, before he wrote a book, he did a very in-depth research into the subject about which he was going to write. Whether it was the book Airport, before which he went into great detail about the functioning of the airline in a specific airport, and or whether it was Wheels, before which he went into a very depth research into the functioning of the automobile manufacturing industry in Detroit. In addition, he had he has come up with a number of books, each after a very detailed research and study. One area which Arthur Hailey had missed out was the IT industry, which Jagan felt it was his duty to fulfill. After reading the book, I have no doubt in my mind that Jagan was very successful in completing this unfinished task of Arthur Hailey. After reading this book, I personally have also been able to improve my knowledge of the IT industry, and I am sure all of you, if you go through this book, will be able to do the same. The book is also very engrossing. Once I started reading the book, I just couldn't put it down. There were a few unavoidable breaks that I had to take for going to the market for my provision shopping, as well as for taking my dog for his walks. But as soon as I completed that, I would rush back, open my laptop, and restart where I had left out. And finally, I was able to finish the book in 2.5 days. And it was really great reading the book. I am sure each one of you who will read this book will equally enjoy this experience and also gain from it. I would also recommend this book for the younger generation who are more computer savvy and IT savvy compared to all of us. On this occasion, I will also like to welcome Jagan into the Senior Citizen Fellowship, which I am part of. And I hope that in the days to come, he will come out with other books like Select and Delete. I will be very happy to get a copy of each and every book he writes. I'm sure reading those books will keep me very gainfully occupied without wasting my time on two bad habits which my wife and my children feel I have got into after retirement. One is gossip mongering, second is laughing after reading stupid WhatsApp jokes and YouTube videos. I wish Jagan all the best, and I will be a fan of him, waiting for him to release his next book. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for those lovely words. I was a big fan of Arthur Hailey, and I've read Airport, so I can really relate with it. I can't wait to read Select and Delete now. I would now like to call upon our next guest of honor, Shri Bhaskar Ben Thatha, to share a few words with us this evening.
First of all, I would like to thank Jagan for the invite. I know Jagan for the last, I think, a couple years, right? I think more than a couple years. And mostly our interaction has been on the professional side. And we do chat sometimes, which is not professional too. But overall, like he said, we are good friends. Like a few weeks ago, he just WhatsApped me and he said, you're anyways going to come for the function. Can you receive the first copy? So when he just said that, I thought, okay, I'm just going to receive something. I didn't realize this is going to be the setup. I would have said no to it had I known it, because I was just thinking it's more like a unofficial thing, and I didn't realize this kind of a setup. Thank you, Jagan, for the invite. And normally, Jagan advises us, our company, on the compliance, IT security. So whenever he does any audit, I normally, soon after the audit, just like after 30 minutes or like 1 hour, I receive like pages and pages of feedback and comments and action items. So I'm like, how is this guy able to write so much, right? In the sense, it's all facts, and the unfortunate stuff is I have a lot of action items based on that, because he says these are all the gaps and you guys have to fill that, and then, so though we had to do it, that's not something I always enjoy, because it leaves me with a lot of action items. But hopefully this book does. I'm going to enjoy reading it, because I wouldn't have any action items after reading the book. Okay, thank you, Jagan, for the invite, and all the best.
Thank you, sir, for a lovely recap of your relationship and your association with sir. Before we move on, no book is complete without the illustrations. I now call upon Hema Rajagopalanji to come and say a few words of her experience for this particular book. Thank you.
I first invite you all and thank you for participating in this book release function. Basically, I am not an artist by profession. I used to draw from my childhood, and seeing my drawing, Mr. Jagan and his wife, Mrs. Booma, encouraged me and gave me opportunities for that books. So far, I have done 4 books for them. This story is about a computer engineer and his life. I tried my level best. Mr. Jagan select my name for his book. I hope he will not delete my name for his future book. Thank you.
I now call upon another lovely person, Mr. Sampath Kumar, who has been the co-author for a previous book, to come and share his views today. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you. Actually, I am confused whether I should talk about Jagan or the book, and I should do it in both of them, but within 5 minutes. That is what I had in mind, because it's a very good event and I should not take too much of time here. And my association with Jagan has been right from 1986, about 14 years there and 26 years now, and in different roles actually. And apparently I had been a co-author for one of his previous books, Grandma in the Boardroom. Okay, that was a phenomenal book actually, well received both in Amazon and other readers who have actually given the domestic reviews also. This book actually, it has come to me already, and I have gone through it quickly, and Jagan actually has acknowledged it that I had actually given some support to him. It's not. It is like Anil for Ramar, okay? Very, very, very little. And the entire credit goes to Jagan for totally conceptualizing and writing about the computer technology journey right from 85. My involvement was actually 85 time when old technologies were there, and we worked together at that time in the same company. So some portions we actually added and discussed it together. Otherwise, he has taken this book very, very well. I have done a quick reading today, but I will be reading it again and again to enjoy it. It is just not a very technology book. It is a thriller, okay? And particularly starting from the old technologies till today, the InfoSec. Whenever I got 3 calls today on my phone, okay? Definitely they are all actually spam calls, and essentially to probably look at my bank. So InfoSec is a very good area, and he is actually covering InfoSec also. So when you are doing that information security, he made it more as a kind of a thriller novel, okay, in terms of what wrong has happened in a healthcare organization, how it was actually sort of left out at some point of time. But later when new generations of that family came up, they want to really go into that and really find out what exactly was the reason and how exactly actually these kind of things have to be taken care of. In fact, actually, I'll take just a minute to tell you, Jagan was involved in a company where he was actually sort of taken. It's a German company where through ransomware they completely sort of encrypted their entire data, okay? And they were actually asking for millions and millions of dollars. And their Indian head actually called him. I also went with him because I know that person. And he actually put his team and then almost recovered back most of the days. Otherwise, they would have actually lost millions of pounds probably, okay, or euros, being a German company, whatever it is. So that way, Jagan's expertise in technology is just a strength to write these kind of books, okay. Only he can write. Like, Mr. John has said that he has missed IT and Jagan has come to fill up that place for Arthur Hailey. I am sure he is going to come up with more and more books like this. And I am very happy that I have been associated with him in one of the books earlier. We discussed quite a lot. And I am sure Bhuma had been the main person driving him to get the best out of any work he does, okay? And I have also been associated with his company Future Calls in some form or another, very, very little contribution to him. So our relationship and our friendship, or possibly whatever you call it, professional relationship, everything is enjoyable for me for the last so many years, and particularly in the last 10 to 15 years. So I wish him all the best. I wish him to come out with one more book, and if he wants some idea, I am ready to give it to him. So for his second thriller also, okay. That is where Jagan is there, and I wish him all the best at this point of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sampath Kumar sir. Now please put your hands together and let us welcome the author, Sri Jagannath, to accept and celebrate this moment and to hear from him about his experience and insights for Select and Delete.
Yeah. Whether you like it or you don't like it, this is going to be the longest speech, okay, because I have to share a lot. 3 years of experience, so it takes longer. But don't worry, 7 o'clock only the dinner starts, so it will definitely be complete before 7. Okay, so first, there are a lot of questions like John Thomas sir said, what is the genre of this book? So I gave it in the prologue, so I will just quickly explain. So it's completely different from other books, earlier books. Nowadays, every book I start thinking of a new genre, new area to do. So first, of course, John sir said about Arthur Hailey, but before that, I like, for that matter, my entire family, Bhuma as well as my son Srinathan, we like Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot. So definitely that has a lot of influence in this book. I wouldn't say it is one role model or one style. Okay, it may be a combination of few styles. I think John sir would agree. So Hercule Poirot, definitely I like the kind of logical discussions and logical, rational. I always, Bhuma says, I'm more rational and she's more inspirational. Okay, so that way this is very rational. I like the Hercule Poirot's rational and logical, Agatha Christie's rational, and that is big influence in this. Of course, second is Arthur Hailey, as he said. Also, I like Arthur Hailey very much. The kind of, like John sir said, the kind of in-depth knowledge he gives. But the knowledge is not, I can't read, Bhuma reads everything for that matter. I can't read something which is a knowledge book or a thesis. It is very difficult. But Arthur Hailey gives that knowledge very concise in a story, in a very moving story. So that style I like it. So I wanted to include it in my book. I hope it is somewhere on Agatha Christie's and other Hailey's influences there. I would be very happy if all of you agree to that. And of course, the third one I put it in the prologue also. The third one I like is great Sujatha from the Tamil. Those of you who know the Tamil side. So it's a very easy flowing, multifaceted stories, especially some crime stories. Not only crime stories, he writes all kinds of stories. That is the specialty. Maybe the next time I would try to do something different than crime. So the easy flowing, fast moving Sujatha style also I like it. So I wanted to include all these three, maybe some combination, mixture, etc. So that's how I thought about it. And I prepared this. This is a 3-year effort by whether I like it or I don't like it, 3 years effort. I wouldn't say 3 years because it's a long drawn effort. Of course, I'm not an author or I'm not a professional author. It's along with my job. Of course, my job is also very time consuming job. So that is one part. But the second part of the blame, that is what I said in the prologue, also goes to Bhuma first, in fact, for the 3-year effort. It has really taken 3 years. I thought that is the reason, in fact, one part of the story is about 2024, because I started writing in 2022 end, 23. So I thought somewhere I will finish it 1 year, 23 end. So I thought futuristic. So 24, then we started thinking whether we change it. Then I decided, let me not change it. Let it be 24 only, because it may be more suited to 2024. So 3-year effort. Part of our main blame goes to Bhuma, in fact, because we had a lot of arguments. We had to change the story. I had to change the story. I had to change the story in between, completely change the story, because she wouldn't agree with it doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't make nice. So I had to change it, of course, then the flow and then the correction, etc., etc. So that is one of the reasons for the 3-year delay. So that is second part. And the third part, other Hailey, we said, IT industry. I thought I should do something similar to the style. But of course, I don't have time to do research like John sir said, Arthur Hailey does the research. But I don't have to do the research because 40 years I have been doing this only, IT industry only. Even if I, like Ben said, even if you wake me up in the night, I would tell about IT industry. So almost now I can tell confidently that I know the nuances of IT industry. So I thought that is what I should take, of course. That is my passion and my job, profession. From the day one, after I graduated, I have been doing only IT. Of course, probably even before I graduated, I have been doing only IT. I didn't do anything engineering. I did only IT in the college. So I thought that is the best way to start. So hope I am able to bring my IT knowledge, IT industry nuances in the story. And IT industry, one of the speciality is that we say every 10 years is that technology completely changes. Okay, every 10 years it changes. Completely dynamic transformation, complete transformation every 10 years. We say every decade, that is what I always say. Every decade is of a new concept in IT. I have started the IT industry, started working in 87. So what we see in 87, only because I had the interest, I'm able to survive until 2026, now for 38 years, I'm able to survive because only people who have that mindset to change, adopt, can survive. Otherwise, people cannot survive in IT industry. 87, when I started, we were working on mainframe computer, punch card readers. Of course, I didn't do any punch card readers. It was at the time of punch card readers and then tape drives and things like that. Big hard disk we used to lift and mount, and the big hard disk is 20 MB. You can't imagine 20 MB hard disk will be somewhere like you have to lift like a weightlifting champion. Now 20 GB is available in small pen drives. So that is a dynamic, that is a complete transformation. So I thought I should bring about that the transformation in my book. So I took 3 phases, 85, which is the mainframe computing, and then this exchangeable drives, floppy disk drives. I don't know how many of you would have ever seen a floppy disk drive also. I wanted to bring that, and then 95, which is a next stage of transformation. So the story goes in 3 phases, 85 phase, and then a 95 phase, where it is a question of GUI applications, graphical user interface applications, and then server computing, etc. And of course, in 2024, which is the artificial intelligence and cyber security. So I wanted to bring these 3 phases transformation, so which I have used in the story. But it's not an IT story. Don't be afraid. People who are not from the IT industry, it's not a thesis, it's not a research paper. You can discuss with Jan sir, he can tell you. It is a crime story. At the end of the day, it is a crime story. It's a crime thriller, okay? Like what Arthur Hailey does. Okay, it is incidental that whatever that IT industry comes in the story. So it's a crime thriller at the end of the day. Of course, there are lots of real life incidents which has given the influence. So don't ask me which influence, which is not good and it's not fair to share here. Because especially in the prologue I said, it doesn't indicate directly or indirectly any person living or dead. Okay, but definitely there are influences. Okay, it's all influences. The influence, Sujatha, again I said, I read, he has written in one of his, this thing, that social fiction can never be an imagination. Social fiction has to be only from whatever you see around you. In day-to-day life, whatever we see around you, you get influenced by some of the things and then you use that influence to drive a story, to thread a story. So any social fiction for that matter, if you see, nothing is out of blue or something coming from the heaven and then suddenly it comes in your brain. It's all from all what we see around. So in this crime story, it also involves IT, healthcare, politics also. So tomorrow is election. So politics also there. And of course, influence definitely from some living person, living or dead person, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say anything more than that. Okay. So it is not directly or indirectly reflecting to any person, but influences from many of the things we see around here in our life. Okay, so that's about it. And what next? I don't know. Sometimes I used to tell, it's a joke also. It may look comical, that sometimes I say that I get good ideas about the story or developing the story in my dreams. Dreams are there every day. So probably next story I thought I should do in Tamil, maybe Kanavil Vanda Kadai. So that is what I was thinking, because there is something which came in the dream, and as of now it looks very nice to develop into a story. Maybe that is what is the next, I don't know. And of course, something on the core subject on the IT side. So that, I don't know when I will get time or when I will get the thinking. So that is what is the next line of thoughts. So I thank everyone who come here. As Bhuma said, first person I have seen every time I tell people, why don't you read, and I have to request, why don't you read and share your opinion. So I just sent to John Thomas, this after finalizing that he is going to be the chief guest, I sent it to him, this is a soft copy, sir. He took interest, and like Bhuma said, that shows his give. So he took interest and serious interest, completed the story, and he even gave three corrections. So that is a level he has gone through, and actual corrections. In this book, whatever which has come out, these 3 are with incorrect references. these things happen when you do a story and then write. Of course, it has gone through 3 levels of reviews, one by Booma and then one by official reviewer, etc. But in spite of that, 3 corrections. Okay, what is more important? That is not important. He has gone through to that level. That is what shows his greatness. He has gone through level line by line, and then he said, I feel there is something. He has not even said this is wrong. It is definitely wrong. Everybody will know. But he sent a message saying that, Jagan, I feel there is something doesn't match. So instead of putting Vasu uncle, I put Vasu's uncle. Some mistake. It is definitely wrong. So he said that I feel there is something wrong. So he has gone to that level. It is very difficult to find a person who goes to that level, reads and then gives the feedback. And of course, he gave a very, very positive feedback, whatever he mentioned here. So thank you, John sir. Thank you, Ben. And thank you for all the people who have helped me to complete this. It's a definitely lot of efforts, time involving, it needs a lot of support. It cannot be possible one-man effort. Of course, Booma has said, though she was the reason for 3-year delay, it's a good reason also. It has gone very well, in fact, from whatever the 3-year transformation the story has gone through. Now it is a good end. It is a lot of, we discussed, whenever we get some time, this is what we would discuss. We discussed about the story, how could it be made better, this is not correct, this is not good, etc., etc. So, thank Booma for all the contribution. And Sampath, as he said, though, again, another, another example of humility. 2-3 things, clearly his contribution. I did not even know. We worked together in the first company, so that company is represented in this. ICIM Kannan is very much represented in the 1985 phase. So Sampath has given some 2-3 ideas, including the love story. There is 2 love stories are also there. Let me break open the interest. So there are 2 love stories, but don't worry, it is a very soft, very gentle love story. So one of the love story contribution is from Sampath only. Okay. 70-year man and I'm 60-year completing. So both of us have done one love story. So thank Sampath and of course Anuj who has helped Anuj. Again, Anuj is related to Booma, so related to me also of course. It is more than relationship and professional is also client. More than the professional relationship, he took interest. He was he said, I will not give it to another proofreader. I will do the copyright editing, editorial reviews myself. So he is involved to that level in the book. So thanks to Anuj and also other friends who contributed, helped in releasing it, both from my company Future Calls and from Southern Railway, ICF, whoever has supported in this effort. Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a really beautiful walk down memory lane. I remember the floppy disks, so I can relate to the story now. Mr. Anuj Jaganathan, founder of Propellers, to say a few words and the vote of thanks.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good to see all of you here. Now, Jagan sir told me that while you're speaking, at least for the vote of thanks, say a couple of words about select and delete. Select and delete are 3 words by themselves, by the way, but I will say a few words. So, like Mr. John Thomas, I was also assigned the job of reading the book carefully, right? And I had to do that in my role. And I completed it in 2.5 days, about almost. So that's probably around the time that you all will, whoever is going to be engrossed in that book will take about 2.5 days to read it, okay? But everything, and I don't want to be the person between a special evening and dinner and all of you. So I'll just take 2 minutes to explain everything and then maybe we'll call it off for today, for this part. 3 things that I want to highlight that came to my mind. First is I learn from the book. I learned a lot, right? About IT, about different things that happen in IT world, cyber security, all those things, right? You will learn a lot. Second thing is revive and reflect. I revived all my memories of that floppy disk that I used to use when I started my job, right? I revived those memories, very interesting. Of course, I never saw those big boxes of memory cards that you're mentioning. But yeah, it revived good memories for me. And then third thing, of course, is to be mesmerized by what's going to happen next. It is a suspense. It's a thriller, right? What's going to happen? I could not leave it. Just like you said, sir, I walk out for dinner. The next thing is, oh, I have to go and complete it. Not because I have to complete my job, but also because I wanted to read it. So that's about the book. I think I'll leave it there. Just in terms of the vote of thanks. First of all, the guest of honor, thank you for being here. Thank you for gracing this occasion. Second is, of course, the author and co-author for bringing such a beautiful idea to the world, to us, right? I think you deserve that vote of thanks. Future Call staff have contributed a lot. So just to take a few names, Sandhya, Dinesh, Harish, Radhika, Sahana, Manikandan, Karthik, and everyone else. If I didn't take any names, sorry for that. But team, the HR of ICF and Southern Railways, thank you for all your help to get to the stage. Jyoti, thank you for being part of this function and making it interesting for all of us. Last but not the least, all of you guests for making it to this function, making the evening special. Thank you for being here. I have to thank, of course, Jagan sir and Bhuma for inviting me, first of all, to give the vote of thanks, and also to be in this special role of being a publisher. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's it from my side. We have some books from all the three authors that you see here. I myself am an author. I have my books. Bhuma, she has a couple of books, right? Srimati Bhuma and then Jagan sir. All of the books are behind. Please go and check them out. And if you feel that you want to have one copy, please go ahead and purchase it. Thank you, everyone.